So, okay, I see everything is set up. Thank you for coming. Welcome. Today we have our first Adobe Community meetup in Warsaw, and I'm very glad to see you here. Guys, thank you for coming. It is a big step for us. I am Alex Smirnov, a business development manager of Eximit company, so let's go. Couple minutes I will take to give you a survey about the Adobe Community, what is it, and what we are doing here. So we started this thing about 7 years ago in Belarus, and at the start it was like a community of developers, mostly Eximit company developers, and we wanted to have a space to discuss our professional thematics, to showcase each other expertise, to share best practices, and so we have numerous meetups there, about 17 times by this day, and later we noticed that the community needs not only to go deep into technical themes and like business users, like marketing directors or marketing managers that work with Adobe products also want to gain more expertise to get their answers to their questions and to learn from the technical guys. And we started to, drift away from only technical themes to more business perspective. And at this time, we also thought about moving from our geography, from Belarus, to spread our wings and to go further to Europe and to make more attendees. So, long story short, I am standing here with you and glad to present the first meetup here in Warsaw. And I guess it will be a regular theme, I hope. So today we will hear from 3 speakers. Karim Antar, it is Director of Business Development Eximit, who was attending Adobe Summit in Las Vegas this year. The second speech will be from Martin Wolf. It is our special guest in the end of the room. It is Adobe Senior Specialized Sales Manager, and he has an interesting theme. I saw his speech a couple of months ago, and it impressed me very much. We also supposed today to have Manfred from Adobe, but unfortunately he couldn't come. In the last moment it was changed, but I guess that Martin will have double work today, and everything will be okay, and he will present in a good way. And the third speaker will be Anastasia Logvinez. It is Eximit Marketo team lead, very experienced in these thematics, and she will showcase one interesting project that was delivered by Eximit, and it will be interesting to see. And me, myself, Alex Smirnov, you already know me. So the agenda was already on the side. I guess everything looked it. So Karim will tell us about key takeaways from the summit. Martin will be speaking about building an efficient content supply chain for today's content demands, content creation demands, and it is a very interesting theme. For me, it was a totally new theme about 3 months ago, and it is interesting to implement in big businesses. And Anastasia will speaking about driving Marketo for a large business, business challenges, how to adopt out-of-the-box solutions. So, and after that, we'll have a networking time, and maybe after the second speaker, we will also have a little break if you're tired. So, let's decide later. So, this is it. Let's start. Now, introducing our first speaker, Karim. Karim sees us through the phone. You can wave your hands, so he will see it. We will look firstly a short video from the Adobe Summit. It is a motivational video, and after that, Karim will start.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, look at that. Well, welcome to Adobe Summit, everybody. It's awesome to feel the energy in this room. And for the thousands of people joining us online, really appreciate you joining us and to be connecting with you.
Today, we're announcing the beta of something called Adobe Firefly. Firefly is a family of Adobe-owned generative models specifically created for content generation for creative output.
We're also announcing a family of Sensei Gen AI services. Anticipate that over time, generative AI will really help us reimagine every aspect of marketing.
Now is the time to get after your digital transformation. We have a unique window of opportunity where our customers are familiar with digital, where we have, through partnerships with companies like Adobe, the tools and the experiences that allow us to be successful.
Embrace change in your careers and in your lives, and it's not going to be easy, but you're really going to appreciate it.
It's great to be back together. Thank you. And see you tomorrow, everybody.
So this was just a short video to give you the atmosphere of this event. It is fantastic and great, and Karim will say it just in a few moments. Let's, at the very start of our meetup, take a photo with the whole, and we will start. 1 minute. Wave your hands, please. It is the very start of Adobe Community in Warsaw. It is so fantastic moment. Woo! Let's start. Hi Karim, we are already seeing your screen, so you can start your presentation now. Karim, we are already seeing your screen. Hello, hello, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now
Okay.
finally it works.
Okay, because I wasn't sure when to start, because I only can see a few of you guys. Okay. Can you see my screen as well?
Yeah, we can see your screen. We cannot see your video, but we can see the presentation.
Okay, so we'll move to the presentation now, and I'll open video at the end, so I just don't get too many screens happening on my end at the same time. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Do you guys
Okay.
hear him well? Yeah. Let's start.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so first of all, welcome everybody. I know if I can see a few guys in the room from a small camera that we have hidden, so keep yourself smiling because you are being videoed. Okay, so today I am going to be talking about my experience in the Adobe Summit over the few years that I have been going there. So just a heads up for everybody, this will be mostly a presentation from myself as a business development person. So if anybody in the room is technical and expecting to see more technical information, one request, try not to fall asleep today because it will not be what you're expecting, okay? Okay, so a little bit about myself. So I have been in business development for a bit over 20 years. Different industries I've passed through. In the financial sector, I also worked in consumer goods. Then I went to government, foreign direct investment attraction. And last but not least, information technology. So I am originally a computer engineer by study, but I think 6 months or 1 year into my first job, I knew this was not for me. And I decided to move myself into the business side of the world. So from the IT space, I've worked with business process management solutions, ECM solutions, GIS and ETLs. And I've been working with the Adobe space now for a little over 4 years with Aximit here. All right. So let's start. So let's first of all just establish what is Summit. I'm not sure how many people have been there from you guys who has not had the opportunity to go yet. But so Adobe has several, events through the year. Some of them are smaller. Some of them are just, webinars, meetups like today, for example, we're having. But the largest annual event they do have by far is the Adobe Annual Summit. It is huge. I mean, the word huge is the minimum you can say about it. So there you go and, discover the latest industries, the trends in the industry. So the Adobe leadership will be coming and telling, over the last year or so, what trends have been changing in the industries we've been working with, how are we keeping up as Adobe in their innovations to keep up with the industry trends, right? You also get the opportunity to listen from industry experts that will talk about, how their company partnered with Adobe, leverage their products, and what the outcome was, before and after. They would talk about a few KPIs that they would be measuring. They would be talking about, we saw X%, growth in this kind of KPI that we were looking into, that kind of stuff. And my favorite part of the whole summit is networking with people. I go there honestly part of it is to learn and see where Adobe is going, but also to meet people from different spaces in the Adobe scope. So, different partners that, I've been talking to over the years and have not met them in person. Us now getting used to working with Zoom and Google Meets. So many times I have meetings with people, but everybody I see is just a face behind the screen. And Summit is a very good opportunity for me to go have a coffee or a drink or like lunch with one of our people that we've been working with. So that is basically what Summit represents to me on my side from the business. Yep. So Summit has evolved. I'm going to look at this from a post and pre-COVID era. So I've attended the 2019 Summit in Las Vegas and in London. 2020, well, we had our tickets, we had everything booked, but everything went down the drain overnight. And we went online for a few years. And this year was our first year back in person. For people in business, going online, we lose the main factor that we always want to see is, the human being behind the conversation. People I like to talk to, people I like to shake hands with and go, this has completely got lost in the time of the online presence thing. So this is my view of how it has evolved over the two ones that I've been to. So in 2019, when I was there, Adobe was focusing a lot, the conversation was, it was on the digital experience itself, right? So they were talking about how our products would help you as a company move from point A to point B. The conversation was always about the product, how technically this could help you and how, this would be impacting your company's, image and your company's, roles and everything. And it looked at Adobe as a full ecosystem, a full marketing ecosystem to be presented to your company. It was heavy on the technical side. I have to say, my first summit, I was somewhat lost in the middle of all this, technical terms and technical presentations. A lot of the times, you would not be following it. Now, in 2023, when I went this year in March, the conversation changed. They stopped talking about products anymore. They stopped focusing on this. everything was about artificial intelligence. This completely captured the scene. It was all about how AI is doing this, how AI is helping doing that. And what's even more, when you walk into the pavilion where all the partners are presenting their products and showing, showcasing this and showcasing that, it's always through an AI lens. So, for example, you would stop at a booth of company ABC or something, and they will tell you, our product is made for email marketing, so we will help do this and this and this, and we use AI to help you extract this kind of information. It's all with AI embedded in their conversation. So that is one of the shifts I saw in that way of talking. Now, when you talk AI, they were able to get away from going underneath the artificial intelligence technical side of things. They were talking about business people saying to them, artificial intelligence is here with our products to make your job a lot easier. And they showcase a lot of that. Something else that has changed, and I touched on it a bit in my last part, is how the messaging has changed. So the messaging has become more business oriented, less on the technical side, more business conversation. It talks more to the marketing department, talks more to the operations department. And that, in followed, had a different audience that was being attracted to the summit. So 2019, if you look at the presentations, sessions, you'll find a CTO or a chief information officer or some lead architect doing the presentation, right? And it becomes, whether we like it or not, it becomes a technical presentation at the end. And they go down databases and this and that and connections and APIs. This year, a lot of the people that came on board to do the presentations, they were more of the chief marketing officers, senior brand manager, digital marketing experts. So it was very much focused on the business side of the company, not on the technical side. Okay. Now, something that has also been conversationed a lot is customer centricity. So, what are they talking about here? Is making customers the center of how they look into things. So, for example, real-time CDP. So it was something talking about the the conversation of, if you're taking customer data platforms, and if it's not, if somebody said it in a nice way, they said, if your information is not live, your data is not real, it's in real time, it's no longer real data. It's no longer valid for the conversation that we are having today. So that being said, this is how they focused on real time and everything. They also focused on real-time experiences. People want a real-time experience now. Okay, so they wanted to have it in the way they wanted to see it that today. So focusing on real time, focusing on everything that we wanted to see at that point. Last but not least, when they talked about was the Adobe Experience platform. So basically, I'm going to quote this from their website. AEP says, enables organizations to centralize, standardize customer data from any system. It then applies data science and machine learning to dramatically improve the design and delivery of rich, personalized experiences. Well, in simple English, they're just telling you, if your data today as a marketing person, if I am accessing data from, system A, and you as another marketing person in the company are accessing it from point B, and both of us are not seeing the same data, then we are not making decisions together on the right data. So what they're saying here is, have everything together in one center point, so everybody points to the same data and we're all seeing the same thing. And of course, another thing that got on the scene this time a lot more was Marketo. And I'm not gonna go into a deep dive into Marketo with myself, because Anastasia in a while will show you how that tool can help your businesses solve its B2B challenges. So something else that they talked about was content supply chain. So they looked at content as a thing and how it moves down the chain. And this is, something that I didn't know, and it was like a statistics for me at that point, saying that demand for content is growing exponentially. And in the next 2 years, the amount of content that we have today will be 5 times larger in 2 years. So they looked at the supply chain in 4 stages. So planning for your content, you use Adobe Creative Cloud, for example, you design your content, you plan how you're going to launch that content, right? Now you put it into production and you start developing it, Adobe Workfront and that kind of stuff. Now delivering your content to your user or to your audience, and then at the end is analyzing how all this came together, and that's how they looked into that supply chain. And the next speakers, Martin and Manfred, will take a deeper dive into this. So I'm going just to fly over it very quickly. So this is the new thing, and it was the thing this year, artificial intelligence. And Adobe used the word very smart. They used Adobe as a co-pilot. So everything we are doing under Adobe's, we are doing it in a space of, as a co-pilot, AI is included. So they talked about generative AI, they talked about Adobe Sensei, with generative AI in top. And they talked about the new Adobe Firefly product. Firefly for us in Actimate does not maybe talk to us that much because it's more of the creativity. But, I came from a space before. I used to work for Unilever in part of my previous life, and we used to look a lot into creativity and how media and that kind of stuff shapes it. And the most important thing they talked about was AI ethics, because yes, AI has been thrown around a few years ago, as the buzzword here and there, but today, because we're seeing it a lot, they want to talk about the ethics behind it. So they talked about responsibility, how they will approach and design and maintain careful consideration of the impact and the consequences of its development of the product. And they talked about accountability. So they would take ownership of the outcomes of their AI tools and respect any privacy rules, because everybody today is talking about, privacy this, privacy that, what's going to happen here, what's going to happen there. Last, they talked about transparency. So, they will be open around, sharing and explaining how, our system works with AI to all the customers. So you can understand how the application is working for yourself and make the decision, is it right for me or not at this point? Okay. Now comes the part where this is where the fun starts, sneaks. So what sneaks is basically they showcase products that they have, been fiddling around with and playing around with through the last year. And they just showcase it very lightly, and we get to vote on what products we see would be nice to put it in development and take it down the path of development for the next year. So here is a few of them: Pathwise, True Colors, Custom Clips, Side by Side, Fast Filtered, Segment Smarts, yada yada yada. I would really recommend if you guys go on the website for the summit. There's an on-demand videos, and each one of these has the video of the presentations. This honestly blew my mind away. You see how AI is really becoming part of everything. For example, the True Colors was the one, take the comedian, we take a picture, and this product or this thing, it analyzed the skin tone and your body, your shape of their face, your body tones and everything, and will recommend from a website what clothes that this website has that would suit your personal shape, if I may say it that way. Now, I know my wife would love this thing, but I mean, you have a personal designer walking with you to every website that you work with at no cost at all. Something that I really looked into was custom clips, and it just clicked like this with me. When I used to work for Unilever, I was a brand manager in the company, and in that space, we were still with traditional media, so advertisements on TV, pushing the billboards on the highways. But I remember that every time, the development company or the production company will come back to us with the ad that they filmed for us as per, our conversations with them, and we would like to change something, okay, this is a few weeks of more, cameras and scenes being taken, and the invoice just gets fatter and fatter and fatter. Custom clips honestly did this in 20 seconds, and it was click, 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 done. I mean, this might put a lot of production people out of business, but this is where this product showed you the potential of an AI in this kind of platform. Okay, here's a few pictures I collaged from this year's summit. So yeah, we're in the top right here, me and my colleague Paul. A few other pictures around Las Vegas. This is like just to keep you in the mood for how it was over there this year. Okay, and yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna open up for questions.
Thank you, Karim. Great
No
to
problem.
hear from you today. Maybe anyone has question for Karim? While people are thinking, I'll ask you for myself. Yeah, we all noticed that the AI captured the scene in the whole world, not only in Adobe products or Adobe Summit.
True.
It is a very strong trend, and yeah, it is expectable that it would be the main part of the summit. But maybe you have noticed some other changes from differences from the previous summits that you attended. What else? What else besides the AI?
Okay, something interesting this time I saw. So when you walk into the pavilion, where all the booth and the companies are presenting, so all the big, nice, fancy booth in the middle are those, big, expensive companies that can afford, huge booth like Microsoft, Accenture, all these guys. At the back, all around, there is few of the smaller startup companies or companies that are, just post-revenue or pre-revenue. They're pitching their products, and they're basically a table more than a booth, right, with a logo or something. So 2019, there's a lot of Magento companies there. And it was, every corner you go, those small companies are Magento here, Magento there. This year, the main difference I saw, these smaller tables or smaller booth, if you want to call them that way, they were like maybe 2, 3 Magento, and everything else was Marketo this, Marketo that, Marketo this, Marketo that. So I know both of them was, it was announced in 2019 as the acquisition by Adobe, but the difference this time, you can see how the shift happened in that time. So yes, Marketo was basically, catching the scene from the startup or smaller companies that were presenting their products there this time.
Okay, great to hear that, because I looked at Marketo last days, last maybe years, and also thought that it is a very interesting product that can gain more result, can gain revenue, and its potential is still unveiled, and it is to be uncovered in nearest years. So, any questions?
For sure, yes.
Any questions? So, okay, let's move to the next speaker. Thank you, Karim. See you.
Thank you, guys.
Next week.
Enjoy it, and everybody, I'm just gonna put up my contacts here, and just to share it with you guys in case anybody is planning to go in the late, I think it's June, early June, right? Where everybody's going back to London. So my contacts, I'm just gonna put them up on the screen. Just give me a second.
Yes, of course, you have time.
And
Don't
then we go save. Okay. So yeah, here's my contacts. So you can go on. Here's my email. Shoot me an email if you want to discuss anything in further, or if you're ever going to the London Summit, for sure, one of us will be there, if not more. So do shout out. And if you want to connect on LinkedIn, just search my name. You'll see my beautiful face coming up, and click that magic blue button then. Okay? Okay. Thank you, guys. All the best for the rest of the evening then.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.